Sometimes I get the request as a historian working in a library. I'm looking for a book. I'm looking for a book about the Ozarks on the context of how everything began in this area, in the region. Well, have I got a few books for you? Let's take a look at just two of them, and it's only the beginning. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome again to another episode of Ozarks History. This is Vincent Anderson. I am so happy that you could stop by and visit for just a few minutes with me. We are going to have a great time just looking at a couple old books that help me gain context for the White River area, especially the White River, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Here in the Ozarks, I focus a lot on the White River. I do other things in the Ozarks too, but the White River has always held my fascination. And so I'm going to dive into the two books that kind of steered me around and changed my direction of view and my thinking on studying Ozarks history. The first one is a book written by Leland Baldwin. It's called Keelboat Age on the Western Waters. This is a lot of written about the Ohio River, the Mississippi River, Tennessee, some river. It doesn't have a whole lot about the White River, but the context of what was going on, the hardships, how people made it on keelboats and flatboats, navigating rivers, the harsh and hard times that they endured. Just a wonderful context to have in your toolbox and background to understand what life was like from 1800 in the Ozarks, from 1800 all the way, I mean, honestly, to about 1850, we had keelboats and flatboats going up and down the White River. Songs that they would sing, some of the fights that would take place. The guy, Leland Baldwin, is a historian from Pennsylvania. Excellent. This was actually written back in 1941, I believe. 1941. It came out. It's had a couple editions come out. This edition right here came out in 1980. I happened to be in college at School of the Ozarks in 1983. The summer of 1983, I was at School of the Ozarks at college. Today it's called College of the Ozarks. Excuse me for those out there who might get hung up on that, but in 1983, it was School of the Ozarks. But we actually had this book in the library, and wasn't really big on reading, and I was in college, but this one happened to cross my path, and it kind of changed my appreciation for how people got here in the Ozarks by flatboats and keelboats and what was actually going on. And Mr. Baldwin did an excellent job on the context. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave a link at the bottom, my Amazon link, that you can go to my Amazon store and take a look at this paperback. The latest edition, I believe, yes, it's still 1980. You're going to have to buy a new one. You cannot buy a new one. You're going to have to buy a used one to get a hold of that. The next book I really want to show you, this is it. This is it for the White River in context. And it's called Steamboats and Ferries on the White River. This is my edition. I got this book in 1998. I bought this book. I actually happened to have a bookstore in Mountain Home, Arkansas, an independent bookstore. We purchased in 97, and this book came across my path in late July 1997. I remember it very well. 1998, excuse me. I got a hold of this book from the University of Arkansas Press in 98, read it. I started selling this book. I started talking to people walking through the door and selling, and man, I was selling books like this. This was really a great Christmas gift. It's still being published today. I'm going to also leave a link on Amazon at the bottom of this video from Amazon, and it has a lot of information in it. And so it's broken up into three parts. So I'm going to go ahead and flash that picture up here for you. It's called Steamboats and Ferries of the White River. It's by Dwayne Huddleston. He composed a lot of notes, a lot of research that Sammy Contrell Rose And Pat Taylor Wood approached his widow and happened to get a hold of the notes and compiled this wonderful book. Now the book is actually broken up into three pieces, into three parts. First of all, I'll go ahead and flash the picture back up here. First of all, it has 125 pictures and illustrations along the White River. Pictures of maps. I actually fell in love with those maps. There's only like 5 maps, partial maps, shown in the book. Just snagged my fascination, and I had started searching for those maps. I searched for years, and in 2013 I get a phone call from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers down in Little Rock, Arkansas. Librarian down there, Sean Snow. She called me up. She said, "Hey, we have found the maps that you've been searching for." There were 42 plates of those maps. This is what some of the maps look like that are in there. I now print those out and put those on nice canvas and sell those. But the maps grabbed my fascination. 125 maps, pictures, and photographs. And it's broken up into 3 parts: keelboats and flatboats, which we were just talking about. Then part 2 is steamboats, all the way from 1831 to 1917. All the history you'd ever want, and some of the most fascinating and funny and sad stories all together. Then there's another part 3 on ferries. They actually list in here the 75 ferries that are in the Ozarks on the White River. Oh, not just the Ozarks, on down the White River too, but they list 75 ferries in there. Then they list all the steamboats, the notes, the glossary, and index. Invaluable. I have worn out this book almost. I highlight, make notes into it, everything. I just go over and over and over it again and still find new things, and I go back, and it gives me an idea to go somewhere else on the White River to see that location where a certain incident happened, where somebody almost drowned, or where a steamboat got hung up at. It's just a wonderful resource. And so I would go ahead and suggest, if you get a chance, take a look at those books. You get those books, I honestly ask you, if you really like the Ozarks, or you like something about river travel or whatever, get those books, buy them, get your ink pen out, your highlighter out, and start making notes. I think we should buy books. That's my one problem with ebooks. I like to make notes. Ebooks, you can't do it. And boy, these books, you just like an old friend. And so I make notes in my books and have a good time with that. I want to thank you very much for stopping by Ozarks History. We have a lot more books to talk about. This is just the context with the White River. For Ozarks History, there's a lot of other sets out there and volumes that we can talk about, which we will in the very near future. If you enjoyed this video, I ask you a favor. Would you go ahead down at the bottom of the screen, give me a like, and do a subscribe, and share this with another friend. I really appreciate your help on that. And as we continue this channel to grow, we're going to keep adding more and more information. And I hope you have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.